break, we have Tony Schiavone in the ring, and he introduces the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Kenny Omega, with Don Callis. First off, love how Tony Schiavone undercuts Don Callis still, even when he's doing the in-ring interview, just like Don Callis. Credit to him.
I can't remember what he said. He was like, and Don Callis or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like his whole tone and demeanor changed.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was great.
So
Don Callis' insult, though.
Well, so Don Callis's comeback. This is, again, one of the great things of having the live crowd and having to react to it. And Don Callis is one of the best to do it. So they get into the ring, Don Callis and Kenny Omega. They kind of shoo Tony Schiavone to get out of the ring because he's not needed here. But before they could even really get into their promo, the crowd starts chanting at Don Callis, "You got fired. You got fired," which was great because that's tying into the partnership with Impact and AEW. And that's obviously alluding to in Impact Wrestling. Don Callis got fired on screen. And if you read the dirt sheets, off screen as well. But that line from Don Callis was like, real men don't quit. They get fired.
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to talk about this. In some situations, I agree with Don Callis here, right? Like, no. If I want to leave and I quit, that's different. But like, if I don't want to leave and you're going to fire me, I don't want to pull that like, well, I quit before you fired me. That's not, right. No, like real man's like, no, you fucking tell me. You fucking sit me here, you look at me, you tell me, get the fuck out of here. People have done that, but you know what I mean? Like I made them do it, like, all right. Yeah, I'm fucking out of here then. You know what I mean? Like, fuck you too.
But real men, they don't quit, right? They like, get fired.
I want you to say it to me and be like, yeah, I mean, I get it. And then I'll be like, all right, I'm out. That's probably deserving.
So Don Callis essentially recaps what Kenny Omega said the previous week, where Kenny Omega's beat Rey Fenix, he's beat Moxley, he's beat Jungle Boy. There's no one else for him to beat in AEW, so he's going to go defend his other championships. He'll come back when there's a worthy contender. All the while, the crowd is chanting, "We want Hangman." Mm-hmm. And this was one of the greatest things about this segment. There's a lot of great things, but this was the first great thing about this segment is the crowd is chanting, "We want Hangman." So then the Dark Order's music hits, and Evil Uno, who is the mouthpiece for the Dark Order, walks into the ring, and they're talking about Hangman Adam Page, and neither one of them says Hangman Adam Page.
His fucking lines about Don Callis too, when he was like, with your creepy uncle or whatever.
Yeah.
He wants to hear him. And then he was like, hey, the men are talking. I loved all of that. Yeah. Evil Uno, we say this, but I like this guy more every time I see him on TV.
Yeah.
Like he's showing more and more personality with each minute of TV. I love it.
Yeah. But I really do. I love this thing that Evil Uno and Kenny Omega are playing on of, we know who we're talking about, but I'm not going to be the first one to say his name. Like, you know who I'm talking about. So I want you to acknowledge who the number one contender is. And then on Kenny Omega's side, he's saying, no, this guy isn't worth my time. I'm not going to say his name. If you want it to be said, you say it first.
Instead of acknowledge me, it's acknowledge him. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's my best friend, or our best friend in regards to Dark Order, which shout out Dark Order, join the Dark Order. Here's
That's
a t-shirt.
Fucking awesome shirt, by the way.
Love it.
Show it again.
Love
Show it again. Show it off.
Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at that. There's Evil Uno right there.
Look at that. Sticking his tongue out, being all weird.
Love it. So I love, though, that it is acknowledge him, because it's our best friend has all the tools, all the talent to beat you. You know it. I know it. Fucking acknowledge it. And Kenny Omega, being the brash, cocky world heavyweight champion, says, fuck that. Fuck that. Now, here's the fun part. Evil Uno, Omega going back and forth. Then the Good Brothers come out, which again, I'll get into in the main event, but I'm going to go red in the face until this fucking changes. But anyhow, in time.
They're over, baby. Right? Isn't that what he said?
Oh, yeah. He retweeted me, quote tweeted me and said that. Babe. Called me babe. Look here, pal. You see what I did to MJF, motherfucker? I can really fuck you up. I like MJF. I don't like you. Anyhow. So the Good Brothers come out and they're jumping the Dark Order and they're beating their ass. And then you also got, Cutler and the rest of the super elite, except for the Young Bucks, beating up on the Dark Order, which brings out Hangman Adam Page, and he clears house, right? Hits one good brother hits the tall good brother. They're out of the ring. And it leads to this moment.
One of them is good and one of them is brother, right?
They're both kissing cousins, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So they have this moment that is just reminiscent of Revolution 2020, where Hangman is in the buckshot lariat position to just tear Kenny Omega's head off, and he doesn't do it. Now, if you go back to Revolution, it was, is he my friend? Is he not? Should I be friends with this guy, or should I, tell him to go fuck himself? Fast forward to last night, I believe, and this is how I interpreted the moment, is can I get this move on this guy? Like if I go for the buckshot lariat and I miss, does that prove that I'm the loser who I am?
Yeah.
Or can I get this and then become, the best in the world?
I didn't even necessarily get that as much as just I think I didn't pick that up because I didn't get that facial detection from Page, although I think that might have been the better thing with the story.
That's how I took it, yeah.
More was what I got more out of it was that he was just kind of like, now it's you and me, and you see, like I would have fucking killed you, and it's coming for you.
Well, and that's a great way to interpret that moment because he comes into the ring. They have a face-off where each of them were talking shit, and that could have easily been what Hangman was saying is like, you saw what happened right there. I could have easily knocked you out. And Kenny's like, you don't have the balls and all that. The great thing about Kenny Omega during this entire segment is he wouldn't acknowledge him to Evil Uno, but as soon as Hangman came out with his nonverbals, in his actions, he completely sold that he does not want any of Hangman Adam Page because he knows how good he is. I think the underlying storylines to this major story of the World Championship match is out of this world. It is so good. Now, maybe I'm reading into too much, but I'm having fun reading into all these details that may be true or may not be true. This is the best story in pro wrestling. I'm done with Roman Reigns and acknowledge me. It's fine, but it ain't number one. It's this story right here. And this was the shit.
Yeah. Hey, first of all, anytime you get JR saying cowboy she is knit is a moment that will live forever. He's still got, for all of his gaffes, and there were plenty, and there were even some in this show.
Oh boy.
He's still got those moments where you're like, all right, that's good. I like that. I like that.
Well, speaking of JR, after the blow off between Hangman and the Dark Order and the Super Elite and Kenny Omega,